Hi, I'm Devin Dean, Content Director here at ProjectManager.com. Today I'm going to cover a potentially politically incorrect topic, and that's tackling a problem that, look, we as project managers face every day when we get our teams assembled. What if you don't have the A side? As project managers, it's quite often that you don't have the ability to actually pick and choose the different members that are going to come and join your project team. You might put out a position description or a type of experience that you want to see on the team members joining your team, but then it's kind of most of the time up to your client or the different departments in your organization to assemble that team for you. You'll go through an interview process, of course, but let's face it, in many, many cases, what you're going to get is the best available people, not always the best people. So I'm going to take you through a few steps that I use when I don't have the complete A side that I'm looking for. Right. So the first thing to do is, and I do this with all the team members, just write down the names and write down what you think their strengths and weaknesses are, okay? Once you've got that done, then zero in on the areas and the people that you think are going to give you a little bit of trouble, right? Who might struggle with the tasks or the demand that the project team is going to put onto them. Get that list down to a handful of people. Hopefully it's not your whole team. If it's your whole team, go back to step one, start all over again. But usually you'll have a handful of folks you need to manage a little bit closer than the rest, okay? Make sure you go into detail in plotting what you think their strengths and weaknesses are, and then get a game plan together, right? Think about how you might help them. What are some of the things that they might need to improve themselves as they work on the project team, okay? As an example, maybe someone needs to go to a training course, or maybe, as a strategy, buddying them up with another person on the project team is going to work, all right? Get your game plan together, then make an interview, a one-on-one sort of session with this person. Take them out to lunch, take them out to a coffee, take them into a meeting room. Whatever the situation, you need to get them one-on-one, and you just need to talk to them about what their concerns might be about joining the project team, what they want to get out of the project, what they want to learn, and let them identify themselves where their strengths and weaknesses are. Okay, so you're in that session with them, you've got your list of strengths and weaknesses and things that you think might work to help bolster their performance. Get their ideas on their own strengths and weaknesses, right? And get them to tell you what they think might work in terms of getting their performance to improve, right? Before the project starts. If they're coming up with those ideas themselves and they match your ideas, then they're going to really put a lot more commitment into improving, okay? Seek that commitment at the meeting. If you've got a project team member who doesn't recognize their weaknesses and isn't prepared to do work on that, then you've probably got a good case for thinking about changing them out, okay? It's a judgment call. You'll have to look at your situation and look at the whole project team and composition and see if that's bearable or not. But really, the most important thing in that session when you're having that one-on-one is to get their commitment. Okay, the project has started, you're underway, you know you're going to manage them a little bit closer than some of the other, let's say, more seasoned individuals on your team. Make sure you're giving them frequent feedback. Let them know early on in the project phases how they're going. Are they doing a great job? Why? Take them through that feedback process where you're giving them straight feedback frequently to let them know how they're doing so they can make fine adjustments to their performance and how they're behaving on the project team to perform to your expectations, right? And hopefully there'll be first steps on the journey to improving their performance and leaving the project at the end of it better than when they actually joined the project, okay? So give them that frequent feedback. If they're not improving, if they're not making a change, if they're not improving fast enough, you need to think about, can you bear it? Right? In my experience, whether or not I change a team member out depends on where we are in the project life cycle, right? So if I'm at the start of the project and I see that they're not improving and they're not going to, at their rate of improvement, they're not going to hit my expectations for when it really gets tough in the project, that's a time to switch somebody out. Okay? If you're at the tail end of a project, let's say you're in your testing mode or near to release and production, it's probably a little bit harder to change somebody out of your project team purely based on performance right at the tail end of that project. They've got a lot of knowledge vested in the project. It's probably going to cost you a lot more turmoil to bring somebody in, to get them up to speed so they can take over. So really, it's whether or not you bear it and change them is reliant on where you are in your project life cycle. Look, ultimately, if you can't bear it, if they are really dragging the rest of the project team down, be bold and make that change, right? It's a hard call, but you know what? You're the project manager. You get paid for making hard calls and hard decisions. So if this person isn't performing the way you need to and has got no scope for improvement in the short time available on that project, make a change, right? Escalate that up to their manager. You know, talk to the executives or stakeholders who are looking after that project, who are sponsoring the project. Tell them that you don't have the right resources to perform on that project, and get that person changed out. If you accept that person the way they are, then you're accepting the fate, and you as a project manager are taking that risk on board that you're not going to have the right people in the right positions and right roles in your project team to deliver. Once again, as project managers, we're not always given the A-side people in the team, right? We're always given best available. It's up to you to determine if you've got the right people in your project who are open to change, who will change, and if you don't have that situation, it's also your responsibility to change them out and make a difference. For other project management tips and tricks, and to try out our software, come sign up at projectmanager.com.